All right, welcome back, Sammy and Marissa's husbands. Another episode 507. Um, my co-host was a little busy, so he was unable to come on the pod today. So we got a special guest. Special guest, please introduce yourself.
I guess I am Claire's husband.
Claire's husband with a ungodly mustache right now. It looks terrible. Um, Absolute shit stain under the nose. But that's all good. It's Mother's Day, so we wanted to give a shout out to all the mothers out there and the soon to be mothers. So happy Mother's Day. Bryce and I are unfortunately not back home to celebrate Mother's Day with our mom, but you know, happy Mother's Day goes out to her all the same. So lives of recent, let's talk what's been up. What you been up to?
Just working like hell, honestly. The last 3 weeks have been an absolute nightmare. And I have one more really busy week, and then hopefully things are going to get a lot easier.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
been like what, kind of into quarter or something like that.
Not even. My job's just really sporadic. It can be completely dead, or it's nonstop for weeks, and it's kind of unpredictable. Um, and with all this Doge stuff, it's not making it any easier.
Yeah, is he cracking down on your job?
It's just annoying shit, man. It's like I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
it's a lot of headlines and not a lot of action. So
I
it
hear you.
causes a lot of panic and then nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you there. We feel the Doge stuff in my job as well, because we do have a lot of civilians that do a lot of things for the army.
Yeah.
Um, but that is one area that we probably could do some cutting because the civilians in the army are
No, I'm all for
pretty tough.
efficiency.
All
Um,
for efficiency, yeah.
but it needs to be done with a surgical scalpel, not a chainsaw.
I hear you. I like that. Surgical scalpel versus a chainsaw. Right now, it's very chainsaw-esque for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so work's been busy. Any other big things what you had going on this week or weekend?
I went to the Nats game yesterday.
Yeah,
Watched them blow it in the bottom of the ninth, so that's cool.
nice.
Um, but we've just had awesome weather here this weekend. So it was beautiful yesterday. It was like 75 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. So the game was cool. Um, we just walked up like an hour before the game and got the cheapest tickets at will call and then just like drank at all the bars in the stadium. Because it's like $5 beers the hour before the first pitch at one of the bars. So
Yeah,
pretty decent deal
that's
for a
that's the way
stadium.
to do it. That's the way to do it for sure. We were looking at St. Louis Cardinals tickets
So
because
that's who
St.
they
Louis,
actually played. It was the
that's who
Cardinals
they
versus
play. That's funny.
yeah, the Nets.
That's super random. But the Cardinals are bad, so you can get
Well,
tickets for like
better than the Nets
$90.
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were looking into that stuff, but for me, not super busy. It was my first week of classes, so overall pretty chill. Got a little bit of assignments starting to roll through. Got my first paper assigned, which is an informative paper that's due Thursday, which is super lame. Not super hard or long, pause. But I just have to follow like a doctrinal format, um, which is what it is. But
That's
kind
easy though.
of yeah, continuation of my marketplace. So still on the job hunt. My preferences are due Thursday, so we should have a little bit more of a picture of what that's going to look like Thursday. There's just so much politics involved. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's like putting on a show, really. It's like a dog and pony show. You do interview after interview, trying to kind of guess what kind of candidate they're looking for and portray myself as a certain person. I'm basically telling every unit that I'm all in on their organization because all the units are so cryptic in their responses, and it's honestly super stressful because I'm like playing this little game and being secretive while also trying to be upfront, but it's crazy. But new hotness is there's a possibility I go back to Colorado.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I remember you said something about that, but didn't really
Yeah,
give any details.
it's a different unit, same location, Fort Carson, Colorado, but different unit, different mission set. different equipment. So it would be something new, but just in the same location. It's actually a really good unit, would be a good opportunity. Normally, I wouldn't want to go back to the same place,
But hey, yeah,
but
there are worse places.
I think Colorado Springs is kind of the exception for that. Colorado Springs was great. So it's definitely high up on the list. Still waiting for a few other units to kind of get back to me and let me know like what the deal is. So we'll have a little bit better of an idea come Thursday. But dude, it's a stressful time.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I've got another really busy week. This week I got to go to some damn like awards show dinner thing Tuesday night.
Okay.
So not even really sure what it's for, to be honest. But I'll probably find out Tuesday morning. But whatever.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, that was this week basically, but Saturday morning this weekend, me and Kobe went on a run. We did a full 3 miles, so he's getting up there. He's ran more miles this year than Tyler's ran in the past two. Um, we
Damn.
went real slow though, real slow. Kind of getting him into it. So we did that, and then after went to the farmer's market. We got some sun-dried tomato basil bread.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, that bread is freaking phenomenal. And then we got some ground beef from there's this local ranch that's
Mhm.
like an hour south of Fort Leonard Wood. So we got some beef, some beef jerky sticks, some eggs, the good stuff. And then there was a festival downtown, downtown Waynesville. They had a bunch of vendors, food trucks, boutiques, etc. Sam wanted to walk around because they had some puppies. So we did not get a new puppy, but we pet some puppies for sure. Um, and we just basically walked around and window shopped a little bit. And then today, Sam went to Springfield with our friend that's visiting. Her name is Marcella. Um, so I basically did the Sunday chores, went grocery shopping, did laundry, walked the dog, done my paper, etc. Um, but yeah, that's kind of lives of recent. It's
Yeah,
just
nice.
kind of
I went to the farmer's market this morning too. It's like 2 blocks from my house. So that's pretty nice. Just a quick walk. I got Claire some tomatoes for something she's making tomorrow. And I got a cup of coffee. So
nice. Yeah.
yeah. And then I
Um,
went and played some golf. Did atrocious, but it was the first time I played 18 in over a year. Did not get there early enough to warm up. So the first, 6 holes were just god awful, but played a lot better on the back half. If I played like I did at the end the whole time, I would have done decent. But
Yeah, I hate when I get there too late to warm up. I like to go to the range and just like hit a few drives, hit a few with the irons, just to kind of feel warm and like feel comfortable in my shot. Because I'm shitty at golf anyway, and I'm even shittier if I don't warm up,
yeah, yeah.
no
And
doubt.
me and you remember my groomsmen Lars, we have to play in a tournament on the 22nd, like two Thursdays from now.
Okay.
So that's coming up, and I have to not suck there, embarrass myself.
Yeah, is it like a best ball type deal?
Yeah, it's best ball.
Okay. Best ball tournaments are pretty fun. In a good group. I'm the type of person in a best ball tournament that's just going to hit it as far as I possibly can.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
And
the same thing.
usually be no help to the team unless one of them happens to find the fairway. So, uh, but it's fun like that. I haven't played golf in a while. I think I'll probably get back into it. Last time I was here at Fort Leonard Wood, I played a decent amount of golf. They have a pretty nice course, and I should have some good free time in the afternoon. So I'll definitely get into the golf thing.
Yeah, for me it's tough, just because I don't have a car and I live in the city. So it's like we have to Uber to a golf course. You
Yeah.
like, so options are limited because I'm not going to go that far. But there's two municipal courses in DC that are both decent for how cheap they are. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Did
that
that
is
today.
cool. Yeah, nice. All right, so that's kind of lives of recent. Um, Another thing that we both have going on coming up is we're both running this Marine Corps marathon on October 17th, right? October 17th? No, it's the
26th.
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 26th. Yeah, I'm getting my graduation date mixed up. So should work perfect for me. I will graduate from my school and then have some free time that next weekend. So I'll come out, we'll do the marathon. So like 24 weeks out, right?
We are exactly 24 weeks from the day.
24 weeks from today. So, uh, with that, with the assessment of 24 weeks out from running this 26.2, obviously you've never ran one before. Um, what's your just like preliminary goal right now?
Well, I'd like to break 4 hours. Obviously, finish is there, but like I think I'm capable of doing it. The only one
Yeah.
that's going to stop me is, myself. Um, but right now, the goal is to just get in the best shape possible. I broke 15 minutes on a 2 mile the other day. I think I hit 14:39 for 2 miles. So I'm just trying to you know, get in shape. The VO2 max is up to 57, so that's pretty good. And my Garmin watch is projecting that my current marathon time will be 4 hours and 4 hours 0 minutes and 48 seconds. So
Okay.
want to get that down as much as possible. But once I'm, you know, probably 2, 3 weeks from now, my plan is to kind of do like 3, 4 runs a week, depending on the length, but kind of do, one kind of shorter run. That's just to go pretty hard and try to do fast, and then some sort of interval stuff maybe on one day, and then third run of the week is just try to run as many miles as I can, and then progress that upwards. Probably will cap out at like 15, 16 miles is like the most I'll probably run in preparation. Maybe up to 18 at once, but probably don't want to go much higher than that. That's what I'm currently thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that's having a plan is the most important thing, I think. So, whatever plan it is not that big of a deal. I think having one is the most important. But yeah, that's good. So, I'm kind of doing the same thing and making like my training plan right now. I'm a little unsure if I want to do 2 or 3 run days a week. Three's a little aggressive, I think, just because of my schedule. Uh, and also it's a little aggressive on your body, especially when you start putting so many miles on. Like once you start
Yeah,
getting up there,
I'll probably drop a day as I get up higher in mileage, total
for
mileage
sure.
for the week.
Yeah. So that's what you need to really look at is that like total mileage for the week, total mileage for the month, because the worst thing that could happen is you're doing all this preparation, you're getting into great shape, you're eating right,
Yeah,
etc.
and then
You
I
really,
get stress
and then you,
fractures in both of my
and
legs.
then exactly you got shin splints and you can't even finish it. So that would be worst case scenario. But uh, I'll probably do 3 to start. It's hard because I want to keep my strength training involved. I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. I want to keep some of that strength. So really what I'm thinking in terms of a training plan is probably like a Monday do a lower body strength train day, Tuesday upper body strength train day, Wednesday I'll do like my interval. So I'll probably do between like 800-meter repeats and 2 mile repeats. Try and get my heart rate up there in like the 180s. So really push it. It's nice for me because I have like tracks and a lot of different things that I can go to, and I
Yeah.
feel like you might not have that option out
No,
there in
I
DC.
I have a pretty good place to run though. Where my apartment is in the city, I'm on the west side of DuPont Circle.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm right up against Rock Creek, which is, just a giant creek that runs all the way through the city. And there's a bunch of different running trails and stuff throughout there. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
When we actually do the marathon, we're going to run on the road because it'll be closed off, but you'll see all the trails that I run on. So they're all,
Okay.
paved trails. They go for 6, 7, 8 miles. So
Nice.
it runs all through up the zoo. There's a lot of hills though, which is kind of tough.
Yeah, the
Uh,
hills are brutal. It was like that for the Atlanta Marathon. They said flat course, not flat.
Yeah. The DC Marathon's not going to be too bad. The biggest hill is like between miles 2 and 3. Like that second mile is like the entire mile is straight uphill. But then after that, it's pretty much downhill the entire way. Like it's decreasing elevation like the entire time.
Yeah, so I mean some give and take there.
Yeah, but
Um,
at least it's at the beginning,
true, true.
and then you're coasting down afterwards.
Yeah, which the coast down is definitely nice. But yeah, so Wednesday I'll try and hit my interval day. Thursday I'll do like a circuit day. So still cardio because it'll be a circuit, but it'll be in the weight room. Probably throw in some uh, arms in there on Thursday. Um, Friday is when I'll probably do my distance run. Um,
Mhm.
which is hard because normally I'd want to do it on Saturday because of the time. Because I'm gonna have to wake up dumb early on Friday to do my distance run. Um, Normally I do it on Saturday, but I've really liked starting to do these runs with Kobe on Saturday because I get some energy out of him, so he's not
Yeah.
an absolute terror all day. So I'll probably do them early on Friday morning. And I'll probably progress up to like 20 miles. Um, so going up, you do whatever you want. Like it's your training plan, however you see it working out is fine. But you think about it, if the most you run is 16 miles, you got 10 more miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 miles is no joke. You know what I mean?
Long way. So that's a good point though you bring up about the time of running because right now I pretty much like I go to the office Tuesday, Thursday, and I work from home Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I try to
Yeah.
run like on my lunch break. I have an hour. So I can fit in like a 10K on my lunch break. I've done
Yeah.
that before. But that, takes the better part of an hour. And so anything above that, like I'm either gonna have to wake up earlier or I'm gonna have to like do longer runs on Saturday.
Yeah. And the thing about the weather right now, we're approaching summer.
It's gonna get hot.
Running in the middle of the day,
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be an option.
8+ miles is like it's not going to be fun. So I think the best course of
Yeah,
action is probably going to be mornings or
was
evenings.
also yeah, that's true. I was also thinking like, does it make sense to get like a camelback if I'm running this like many miles in the summertime? With the heat,
I wore a running vest for mine.
does that have water in it?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep, I think it was very beneficial. It looks goofy, but it's like a runner vest, so it's not like a camelback. You got to find the right one because there's camelbacks for hiking, and then there's like legit runner vest. And
Yeah.
really, if you look on like ultra marathon sites, they have good ones. Um, but yeah, it fills with water. It's like 100 ounces of water, which is plenty. You might start to run out towards the end, but truthfully, you should just be sipping the water anyway.
Yeah, because
And
I
then,
just feel like if I'm running 20 miles in the heat of the summer,
mhm.
like I might die if I don't
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
some
yeah.
water.
No doubt. And then also it's good because it has pockets and it can hold those little gels.
Okay, I've
Um,
never done those.
so you
Uh,
need them. Honestly, once you start running for over an hour, your body is going to start having no fuel, right? You're not going to have any energy source to burn. So your body's basically going to start shutting down the longer you go. So you need to eat those little, it's basically like super fast absorbing carbs that you just eat real quick. And it give your body some like really fast energy to just digest.
can you send me the link for some?
Yep, yep, too easy. And like most of the time you can just go anywhere, Dick's Sporting Goods, they probably have them at Walmart. Like
I just I'm 20 miles from a Walmart or a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Amazon will have them, all that stuff. So just the normal stuff. But I'll send you the link. And you got to try a few different brands because they'll sit on your stomach bad. And
Okay.
I've heard horror stories of people they won't train with them. So like you'll eat them and like they don't sit right with you, and um you'll like shit yourself on the marathon. Definitely don't want to do that. You want to actually train with them good and make sure you drink water with them because they have to have water to digest. You won't digest it if it's not drink with water.
Interesting.
Some of them will. You have to like read the fine print on them. And then some of them have caffeine. So you got to really see like what you're looking for because you can really fuck yourself up. Eat like 20 of them. You're like souped up on caffeine
How
20
many did
miles
you
deep.
eat like the last marathon you did?
I'd have to really think about that a little bit. There's some like science behind how often, but I think it's like you want to eat one 30 minutes before you start, and then it's like every 30 minutes you eat one. Yeah. So you'd have to like research into it and different doses in a sense. You should eat in different amount of time. Um, so that's kind of just gonna play with it, I'd say. But like if you're running more than an hour, that's when you're gonna want to start having something to consume. So a lot of people just take like candy because it's quick, simple sugar that you can digest quick. So people will eat like
Yeah.
a Jolly Rancher or something like that, and you get some sugar to put in your system. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Um,
I've heard of the candy.
yeah.
Is like just like
So
a granola bar or something? Just like too much, or is that just like hard to chew? I guess while
it's
you're running.
it's not the right type of simple, like there's different types of carbs and different types of sugars. There's complex carbs, complex sugars, and we want the simple carbs and simple sugars because that's easily digestible and it's fast absorbing. So like simple sugars is kind of like, sugar from fruit or like a piece of candy or something like that. So you want that because your body then takes that and immediately turns it into energy. So I've been doing like a lot of research, and that kind of brings me up to like the topic, like redefining my diet a little bit. We had a nutritionist come and talk to our class last week. Um, and like I feel like I'm eating generally a good diet. I eat good things. I make all my meals at home, but I feel like I'm eating things at the wrong time. So like I was talking about, I usually fast before I work out. So like I wake up and I go work out, nothing on my stomach. I'll have like some pre-workout to like jumpstart my heart a little bit. Um, but I don't have any food. So I'm not eating anything for breakfast before I'm at the gym. And all in all, that's pretty bad because your heart rate's going to get up. Your body's going to need energy. Sure, you took some caffeine, it gives you a quick burst, but like your body needs fuel. It's looking for that fuel somewhere. So if you don't have any kind of breakfast food in your system, then it's going to start burning lean muscle to turn that into energy.
Okay.
Whereas if I would just eat a quick banana before I worked out, then that's a simple sugar and that's a quick energy source. And it's going to prevent my body from eating my lean muscle. And then we'll just use that quick energy source to use for energy until I can get some real protein in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um,
That's interesting.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff about like when you're supposed to eat, complex carbs versus simple carbs. It's a whole thing. Whereas like, we grew up thought, oh, I'm just being healthy because I'm eating fruits and vegetables. Well, it's like, yeah, you kind of got to like figure out when is the right time to eat those. And then also, my goals right now are trying to stay where I'm at, maybe burn some fat, right? Like I'm not really trying to gain a bunch of weight and get big, but I'm not trying to lose a bunch of weight either. And inherently, when we start doing all this running, we're going to be burning a fuckload of calories
Yeah.
because you think about a 10-mile run, you're burning 700, 800 calories right there, probably.
Oh yeah.
Um, and that's just on the run, if not more than that, to be honest. So, uh, we're gonna basically be in a calorie deficit anyway, just because the sheer amount of calories we're burning, and it's going to be hard to eat that much. So, upping my protein intake to at least make it so where I'm not getting rid of lean muscle and my body can, at least if I'm going to lose weight, I want that weight to be fat loss and not muscle loss. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Um,
start like doing some meal prep stuff just because out of necessity for how much I'm gonna have to eat. Um, so and I've been doing that, just doing like some ground beef or like some ground chicken and just like make it with something else. I cook the meat throughout the week for lunches and then make some rice or noodles or something like that to go with it each day.
yeah,
But gonna have to start doing that probably for like the mornings if I'm gonna be running in the morning because I'm gonna be starving after that and
yeah.
then going to work.
Yeah, what you really need, so you'll have to do something in the morning. Something simple though. You don't want to eat like eggs and toast before you run. You want
Yeah,
to eat something like a banana. And then after you eat or after you run, excuse me, that's when you want to like have your protein and your carbs.
hmm,
Because basically that's the slow absorbing carbs that you're basically just going to go to your work and just sit on your ass all day.
yeah,
So you want those carbs and that protein to absorb through your body slowly, aka you're full for a longer amount of time. Um, and it's just like a slow absorption. That way, when your heart rate's low, your body's burning fat instead of lean muscle. Um, I was doing some reading, and a lot of this is Chat GPT designed. Um, really, you're wanting to have about 1 time or 1.2 times your body weight in grams of protein. So I weigh 200 pounds. I need like ideally 220 grams of protein in a day, which is hard to get, honestly.
yeah,
That's a lot of protein. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to
Yeah, that's
really
a lot.
start thinking about where you're going to get this protein from. And I think the best way to do it is really like supplemental shakes. You gotta, if you're trying to get that much protein, you have to at least drink one protein shake a day, if not two, to be honest. So, uh, ChatGPT made me a little diet, so I can send you the diet if you want, or you can just get on the old ChatGPT yourself. It works wonders. If you haven't gotten to ChatGPT yet, you're behind.
Of course, I've used ChatGPT before.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So yeah, ChatGPT made me a little diet, but yeah, man, it's pretty wild. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of marathon. Um, let's talk a little NBA playoffs. So move on from marathon, a little NBA playoffs. Um, right now we're in the conference semifinals.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me just close this door. My bad, Sam just got home, so Kobe went absolutely berserk. But conference semifinals, right? How much are you tuned into the NBA playoffs, if any?
Not very much, but I have a sense of an idea of what's going on. I'm not watching every game, quite frankly, but I do see a lot of them. Um, Obviously the Wizards are dog shit, so I don't care that much. But would like to see the Nuggets pull out another one just because I think Jokic is quite the fucking character.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Edwards would be a cool player to see go far, but he is a giant piece of shit. Um, so I don't know. I don't ultimately really care, but I think it'd be cool to see Jokic win a championship and then not give a shit and go back and hang out with his horses in Serbia.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a fan favorite. I mean, he's pretty much hands down the best player in the world. So
Yeah,
kind of hard not to root for. And just his personality, he's very likable. Um,
right, right.
but okay, so kind of rooting for the Nuggets, maybe a little Timberwolves if Edwards pays his child support, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about some games. We'll kind of just go through each series, talk about like where it's at right now, and then kind of what we thought about it. So, um, Thunder versus Nuggets, that game just happened actually.
Yeah.
So now it's 2-2. Tied 2-2. Denver
And didn't they
was leading
blow out the
2-1.
Nuggets last time? Like the last game, they beat the hell out of the Nuggets, right?
I can't remember
Or maybe
exactly
it
the
was game
last game.
one. One of the games they lost big.
They've
Um,
gone back and forth. Denver was up 2-1. And that's kind of how NBA series go sometimes. Whoever's at home, they kind of sometimes blow the other team out, and then it goes to the opponent's thing and they blow the other team out. And then but I think this series is going generally how I expected. I think we were expecting a long series. I picked the Nuggets to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7 games. Um, and if it goes 7 games, then the Thunder's at home, so they definitely get the advantage there. Um,
yeah,
but
that's true.
Thunder's a young team. Nuggets are experienced and deep though. But
Yeah, I didn't
uh,
realize how good the Thunder were.
the Thunder are weirdly good, and I think a lot of it is youth, and they
Mhm.
play their regular season really hard because of how young they are. So that definitely has a lot. They got fresh young legs, but um, then we have in the East Cavs versus Pacers. Indiana leads 2-1, which big surprise. They went up 2-0 in Cleveland. So the Cavs were the number one seed in the East, and everybody kind of picked them to win this series. Um, and then Pacers went up 2-0 in both games in Cleveland. So that was definitely a big surprise. Darius Garland was out, which hurt the Cavs big time. But coming back from 2-0 is tough. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think Halliburton is taking that most overrated talk to heart. He basically, I don't know if you're familiar, but he got voted by the players in the NBA the most overrated player in the league.
Oh yeah, like the anonymous poll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So he's taking that to heart pretty good. And then Celtics Knicks is another surprise of a
Yeah.
series.
I don't think anyone expected the Celtics to be, down.
Right. Another huge surprise. Knicks
Uh,
going up 2-0 in Boston,
yes.
which nobody thought. I think the Celtics, because they were up both games. Celtics were up both games, and the Knicks came storming back in both of them and ended up winning. So uh, that's big. The Knicks are up 2-1 right now. So the Celtics ended up getting that first game in New York. I think they kind of thought that the Knicks were just going to lay down and get rolled over, and that is not the
Yeah,
case.
not at all.
So
That'd be nuts if the Knicks beat the Celtics. That place is gonna go crazy.
yeah, that
Like
would
if
be
they win the
absurd.
series, that'll be
Well, I did see the Pope went to Villanova,
yes.
and the Knicks have three players from Villanova on their team. So maybe it's destiny.
Hey, the White Sox ain't they're not gonna win either. So I don't I wouldn't get your
Yeah,
hopes up.
yeah.
An
The
act of God could not save the White Sox.
oh man, I've seen a lot of funny memes about like the Pope being from Chicago and like, oh, the Pope
Yeah.
is from O Block. Good stuff. But yeah, so that's Celtics Knicks. I thought that the Celtics were going to win in five. Now, obviously, I have to reevaluate that, but I still think the Celtics are going to pull it out. And then, last but not least, Warriors versus Timberwolves. T-Wolves are up 2-1, and that's largely because Steph Curry is out.
Yeah.
Um, they're saying that he could come back in Game 6 if the Warriors make it there. They played last night, I believe. I watched that game. And I think the Warriors played their best game last night. It was at home. They kept it close to the end, and I think if Draymond didn't foul out, I think they might have won. Um, but the way I'm feeling is that was their opportunity to win. I think
Yeah.
they missed their opportunity, and I bet the Wolves win the next two games and close it out before Curry comes back.
I think that's likely.
And it's hard because I think with Curry, this would be a completely different series.
Yeah, it would.
So Um, I definitely think it would be very different, but hold on, Sam. Yes, it's close to there. I'm a responsible dog father and have fed the children. Um, are you a responsible cat dad and have you fed your animal?
Well, I was still golfing when it was his dinner time, so Claire did feed the animal.
Wow, dude. Wow, that's pretty freaking irresponsible of you.
I was up at 6 a.m. to feed him breakfast this morning. So
Well, aren't you just so nice? All right, well, you got any other NBA thoughts before we
not
head to a commercial?
NBA, but I did go to the NHL playoff game
Oh,
last Thursday between the Caps and the Canes.
yeah.
And that was really cool. Canes won, I think it was 2-0.
Okay.
It was either 2-0 or
Um,
3-0.
how many hockey games
Or
have you been to?
that was my third Caps game. So the
Okay.
Caps, I've never seen the Caps lose.
First playoff game though?
Yeah,
Yeah. I bet the playoff atmosphere is pretty cool in
it
there.
was pretty nuts. Some guy like fell down. Like we were in the nosebleeds because even that was like,
Yeah.
actually we
Playoff
got for like
playoff
not
game.
only $90. Well, but like
Yeah, I mean,
for the ones in Raleigh for like the away games of the series, they're like 160.
hmm.
So we got them for 90. And the place I think was sold out if not close to it. But playoff atmosphere was nuts. Some guy like not quite as bad as like the guy falling from like the balcony of the baseball stadium the other week, but he like
Oh,
fell like 6 rows down. And like we were like the front row in like the nosebleeds, and he like landed on like the two guys like sitting next to me, and just like smushed a child that was like directly behind us, and I had to like pick him up and push him back up.
nice. That's awesome. I feel like drunk hockey fans are probably a freaking wreck.
But it was a good time though. It was super
Yeah, that'd
cool.
be fun. I would enjoy going to like a playoff hockey game.
Yeah,
Hockey games are fun.
and it's only like I mean you walk like 3 blocks to the metro, and it's 4 stops away. It takes 20 minutes door to door.
Did they win? Who you said the Canes won?
No, the Caps won.
Caps won. Okay, so it was even more of an electric atmosphere.
Oh yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah. That's what's up though. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, no, a lot of hockey going on right now because obviously the Wizards, are just,
Right.
shit. But yeah, would like to catch another one if they make it to the next round.
Okay, I hear that. All right, well let's jump into a commercial break and then we will jump back in.
All right.
It's scientifically proven that standing barefoot in the grass for 10 minutes a day releases natural dopamine. So don't take offense when I send you a Snapchat every morning telling you to touch grass, nerd. All right, welcome back. Sponsored ad that may or may not have been targeted at my original co-host. Uh, get ready for those snaps. But let's jump into random questions. I'll go first and then we'll kind of rotate. I got two random questions, but I want to know what you think is the best tasting thing in the world.
Jesus.
It's tough.
Do you mean
It's
like
tough.
one
Is it?
specific item or like a meal, or can it be
Yeah,
like a
so
dish?
it can be anything. It can be one bite of something. It can be a whole meal. It can be uh, a drink. It can be anything.
I think
So,
one of off the top of my
so
head, the best thing I've ever had was in France on our honeymoon. We stayed at this resort, like 2 hours outside of Paris, like an old like abbey type place, and they had like a bunch of really really nice restaurants like on the property. Um, and we went to this one place 2 nights in a row. And I got the exact same thing because it was probably the best thing I've ever had. And it was
okay.
a fillet, like crusted it in truffles,
Mm,
um, with like a truffle mashed potato.
yeah, that's good. That sounds good.
It was just like one of the best, like quality fillets I think I'd had.
Yeah. No, I hear you there. That sounds delicious. I wish I was eating that for dinner tonight, but I'm gonna have some soup, so I'm pumped about that. But I think when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about like, okay, maybe is it a meal? Uh, but I was after dinner the other night, Sam made some cookies, and I had a cookie, ate like half a cookie, and then I took a sip of milk, like cold milk.
Mm,
And I truly think the best tasting thing in the world is like a big gulp of cold milk after you've eaten like half a cookie.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So that's where I was going with it. Um, it was just phenomenal, phenomenal. Good cookies too. She made. We tried something new. She's pretty good at making cookies, but instead of chocolate chips, she used M&Ms as the chocolate chips.
Yeah, whenever I try to do that, Claire tells me that's boring. And well, to be clear, I'm not the one doing the baking. Claire's really, really good at baking. But she doesn't. She typically vetoes the M&Ms in the cookies because it's boring. It's the
I
same
get
as chocolate chips, is what she says. Which, in
I get
fairness,
that,
it is.
but like my favorite dessert is by far chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
So
me too.
Sam gets a little bored with chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
So
Claire made some carrot cake cookies in there
that sounds
today.
good.
Those are pretty good.
That does sound good.
Kind of just tastes like a sugar cookie, but like a little more to it. That's good.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big fan of the sugar cookie, to be honest. Doesn't do it for me.
They're fine.
Like Christmas cookies that have like the icing
Yeah,
on them.
yeah,
It doesn't do it for me.
yeah. I like them. I think it's mostly because of the icing, but the cookie itself is fine.
Yeah, it's just not the right type of sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just fine. It's not great.
Yeah, just fine. I agree. Just fine. I honestly probably wouldn't eat it. And
Oh, I'm still gonna eat it. No, no,
it's
no.
not
I'm
that I
still gonna
don't
eat it.
like it. I'm just not getting like I'm not like excited about that.
Yeah, I'm probably not super stoked either, but like I'm still gonna eat it.
I'm not a big sweets person.
I mean, I'm not either. Um, I really like. I don't like ever like crave them. Unless you like put them in front of my face.
Yeah, for me it's either ice cream or chocolate chip cookies or like brownies or something like chocolate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like also I don't want like chocolate bar. That's not
Sometimes chocolate bar does it for me.
chocolate bar doesn't do it for me. Like little pieces of chocolate, no. But like chocolate chip cookies, brownies, um, and any kind of like milkshake ice cream, count me in.
Okay. I'll go on to my first question.
Hmm.
Where do you think is the worst place you've ever lived?
Worst place. Um, like adult life.
Just anything.
The worst place we've probably lived is that duplex in Silvaterra. That was probably the worst place.
Yeah, it's on the list. I'd say my college dorm. Just because
Oh
I had an
yeah,
especially shitty college dorm. Yours
yeah,
was yours was interesting as well because you had three people and one meant for two. Um,
yeah,
but mine was the smallest room in the entire floor, and I shared, a bathroom with like four stalls, four showers. Only two of them worked. With 120 guys. So that
yeah.
was just it was cramped quarters. But yeah, other than that, probably Yulon Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, college dorm is an experience that not a lot of people get to experience. And if you do, you know what we're talking about. But like, yeah, same with my college dorm. We had it's one room. It's basically like a normal bedroom in a house.
Yeah.
Um, I had three people in mine, me and two others. Um, all of our shit, and you have to go to the bathroom and shower like on a community hallway. So there's like 100 people using the same showers and bathrooms and laundry machines and all that. It's a shitty time,
Yeah.
but also such a fun time because like you're all on the same schedule. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
definitely an experience, that's for sure.
It's definitely an experience. But shittiest place I've lived. I feel like adult life, I've lived in decent places. Like when me and Sam have lived together, we've lived in pretty like, quality homes, I guess. So not like shitty homes. Um, but what comes to mind is got to be my clear room apartment uh, because of the roaches.
I'm not gonna lie, you just cut out for like the last 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, it just said my connection was unstable. But for those of that might have just been listening to dead air for 30 seconds, I was saying that the clear run apartment, because of all the roaches, it's got to be up on the list.
Yeah, that place was it wasn't bad. It had seen better days. It had seen a lot better days.
It was a great location. It was just too many people living in there, and our neighbors were probably filthy. So we were kind of dirty because there were so many people in and out of there, but our neighbors were probably bad too. And yeah, that shit was just gross.
Yeah, you remember my place in Greenville at 4th Street, right?
Yeah,
The big
yeah.
place. That place was really cool, but that place was a shithole. I mean, like in the basement, the entire floor under the kitchen and like the living room was held up with a single temporary floor jack. Held up by like a pin, probably like 4 millimeters wide, or maybe like a little bit bigger than that, but like a pin the size of a nail, like a big nail.
Yikes.
Like it's a miracle that place is still standing. Um, I mean, my fucking roommate threw a chair through one of those big ass windows. Like it was, at one point we just had like a piece of plywood as like a window, just not even like, bolted to the wall, just like leaning up against it for like a month.
Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, that sounds like a wild time.
So that place was a shithole for sure.
Yeah, college
But it was
living is
cool.
just
But it was
different.
cool. Yeah, it was a cool
Yeah.
place.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
what's your next question?
okay, hold on. Let me just type this in. Going 11 May. I'm just titling the podcast thing so I don't lose it. Next question is how many fries did you eat in one sitting? Like individual French fries. Don't get too caught up on like what place they're from. I know it does matter. We're not talking about like big Chick-fil-A fries. I'm just talking about like standard
You
French
talking about
fries.
like are we talking about like shoestring French fries like McDonald's, or are we talking like russet potato like the Five Guys like that like
Let's go
medium width?
let's go Five Guys.
All
Like a
right.
Five Guys French fries.
I
Like how
think
many do you think if you were hungry, like nothing else, you woke up, you didn't eat breakfast, you go to Five Guys at like 12. So you're hungry. You know what I'm saying? And then you're just like, let me get all the fries. How many do you think you could eat? Individuals.
I mean, I think I could probably like the number that pops into my head immediately, and this might be wild, is 200.
Yeah, no, I was thinking at least 100.
Because like,
Because
how
I
many
think
fries is in a basket of fries? You know, because they're
I
not
don't
all the
know.
same length.
True. Um,
Like, there's big, there's small. It's probably gonna be random.
I think I could eat 100 if I had a cheeseburger with it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I'm thinking like 250 maybe.
yeah, maybe. I mean, originally when I thought about it, I was like, I think I could eat 500 French fries.
I mean, if
But
I'm force feeding myself, I'll go 300, you know?
500 might be a little aggressive. So I
I
think
think that's
300. I think we should test it out. I think we should.
I'm probably good on that, but you have fun.
I
Let me know
think
how
we
that
both
goes.
go to. We'll do the next week's podcast at Five Guys, and we'll just get on there and just eat fries throughout the entire episode and keep a counter. See how many we do. Talk about
Got like a
content.
you
That
got like a
that
you got
would
like a
be good content.
you got like a pitch counter.
Pitch counter that's just running on the live stream. That'd be funny. Um, so yeah, I
Oh,
think we're talking McDonald's shoestring fries though. We
oh,
might
that's yeah,
we might be
500
pushing
easy.
400, 500. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's
Um,
nothing to those things.
no.
Nothing to them at all. Um, yeah, so
Um, okay.
that's what I got.
What? All right. So you recently did some traveling. You
Hmm.
went to Portugal, Spain. Did you go to France as well, or just Portugal and Spain?
No, we didn't end up making it to France.
Okay. So you went to Portugal and Spain. What is like the top three places you want to go to next?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, so I loved the Spain area. I think it was
I,
really
I
cool.
do have a follow on to this as well.
Okay, I think the Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
I said what I say.
You said Mediterranean.
Same. Um, Mediterranean. That 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 area is cool. So I think somewhere in like Italy is probably.
Italy is awesome. That's one of my favorite places I've been.
Yeah, I think that's definitely on my list to see. And it would probably, I think I'd want to do instead of going to like a country here, a country there, I'd probably want to do like the south of Italy and then go up to the north, because I feel like it's almost two different countries.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it is. It is really. We did 10 days in Italy, and we did like either like five in each or like six and four kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, we did it like 6 days in like northern and central Italy, and then went and did like 4 days on the Amalfi Coast and like all the beaches and stuff.
yeah, and then also on my list, I think is like the Netherlands. I think that would be
Okay.
really cool. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think those two are probably pretty high on my list for like the next places I'd go. And if I had to plan a trip right now, I think I would plan centered around one of those two places.
Yeah, I may still try to go somewhere this year. Me and Dalton and one of our buddies, Pascal, we may um end up booking something. Thinking about maybe
Nice.
going to like Scotland for a weekend, or like a long weekend or like short week kind of thing, and like playing golf there.
Yeah, that would be really
Um,
cool.
or thought about going to. I don't know if I could. It's tough for me because like September is like our busiest month of the year, but I'd
Yeah,
love to go to Oktoberfest and go to
that would
Munich.
be sick. That'd be so sick. Oktoberfest in Munich would be crazy. Um, that's definitely a bucket list thing just to say you've done it.
I think we should look at doing like me, you, Sam and Claire, like go to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, definitely can't happen this year. But
Well, I mean, we can think about, well, after Thursday, we might have a better insight of how realistic that is.
that's also true, but that wouldn't happen this year. I
But
would
yeah,
be there at
I'm
like
well,
November.
yeah, I'm aware.
But yes, after Thursday, we that could be a very real possibility.
Yeah, like that could
Um,
be, we could plan that for next year. That could be nuts.
that could be nuts. So yeah,
And
we'll
next year
see.
is my 4 year trip with work, and Sammy's probably got hers coming up too.
Yeah, she's got hers coming up too. So we're kind of waiting to see where we're going to be living to
Yeah,
base it off that. Because if
we
we are in
could,
Europe,
if
yeah,
they're similar, we could use them at the same time.
true. Um, So yeah, we'll just I think we hold off on that and just figure out where I'm going to be living because if I'm living in Germany, uh that's a lot of extra money we have on our for your trip that we don't have to spend on flights. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because the biggest expense, it's
We
everything's
could
cheap
go like
over
yeah,
there.
and we could go like skiing in Switzerland or something.
Yeah, right. Which would be absurd, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's you're gonna go on a vacation that's paid for, you might as well go to the
no,
most expensive
yeah,
place.
absolutely. No, I'm not even saying expensive. I think it would just be a crazy experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool. What about you? What bucket list type places? Oh, before I ask you, I think also I really want to do like some stuff in South America. And I don't really know where exactly, but I think uh that is something I kind of want to experience. It's like South American stuff.
It's not that I don't want to see it, it's just there's so many other places on my list before there. You
That's
know,
fair.
it is
Yeah.
on the list, but it's not at the top.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I mean, I think Japan would be really cool.
Japan would be really
It's
cool.
just so far away,
Yeah.
and I don't really sleep on airplanes that well.
No, me either.
Um, and so that that's not fun. It's like a 20 hours worth of like flying from the East
Yeah.
Coast. Yeah. So that's the barrier there. But thought about that. I think like the next place I'd like to go is like Germany or the UK.
Hmm.
Just because I've only done um Italy, France, Austria, and the Czech Republic.
Hmm.
Um, well, and we took a day trip to Germany, so I've been to Dresden, Germany for the day.
Yeah.
But I would like to get to, actually go and experience it.
Yeah, Germany, I did Dresden. I did Berlin. Um, that's about my extent of Germany. But
Hmm.
Dresden was just like a day trip. Um, Berlin was really cool, but different than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Uh,
So my follow on to this is like I've seen a lot of stuff, and like assuming this one goes well, um, is something you'd ever consider like flying and doing like the Berlin Marathon or like the Paris
mm,
Marathon, or like I'm sure
yeah,
there's one in Rome and like Madrid, London.
no, that'd be sick.
I
I'd love
think
to
that
do
would
all
be
those.
the coolest way to like see all of those cities on foot, like and have a front row to like all the roads are cleared. Like I think that would be such a cool experience.
No, it really would. That would be so cool. And like when I stayed in Berlin,
Hmm.
they were doing the Berlin Marathon that weekend.
Yeah,
And
I
if
bet
I
that would
would
be
have
awesome.
known about it, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't know. And then honestly, Berlin is probably, I wonder if you have to qualify for the Berlin Marathon.
I'm sure there's probably some European city ones that you have to qualify for.
Yeah.
And there's probably some you don't. Um, like I wonder, like also, what do you have to even run to like qualify for something? And I wonder
Well,
if this like race in particular will qualify you for something like the New York City Marathon or something like that.
this one is probably a qualifier. And I think like the big ones you have to qualify for, like New York, Boston, Chicago. That's what I would imagine. I think Berlin you might have to qualify to,
I
but
would do the Chicago Marathon would probably be sick.
yeah, any of those big city ones would be awesome. But Boston, like you have to run under a 3 hour, and you're not even guaranteed at that point,
Oh, that's crazy.
which is absurd. It's absolutely nuts.
Because it's like
Like
there's gonna be people that they probably like have a certain amount of like spots like reserved for like fundraisers. So it's like
for sure,
there's gonna be people running 6 hour marathons there.
right?
And
And
you're
that's
just
the
like
hard thing.
someone running a 3 hour one can't get in. Like that's
Yeah.
probably pissed. Yeah.
So like, yeah, certain companies will have so many slots that they'll just be like, "Hey, who likes to run in our company?" And they'll give out a slot, which is, I think, kind of BS, especially when people are competing to get in. But yeah, we'll have to look into. I do know that Atlanta was a qualifier for the Boston. So, um, if Atlanta's a qualifier, then I assume this one's probably also a qualifier. But yeah, this is a big one too. It'll be really cool. Um, but yeah, go into all those different cities, running the London Marathon, Berlin Marathon, Rome Marathon, like that would be so cool and a great way to travel. And also like see the city like you were talking about.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd just be a really cool way to like see everything at once. Especially
Yeah.
if you're traveling internationally and like you don't get to spend tons of time in as much places you'd like.
Hmm. But yeah, You looking something up or you want to do pet peeves
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could figure out about. Yeah,
about
I
if
can't. Yeah, if it qualified you for another race, but I can't find anything. We can just move on.
we'll look into it and see for next time. So we'll talk about it next time. But let's jump into Pat's peeves. Um I'll go first. I got a Pat's peeves and been trying to walk the dogs a lot. And with that means they're gonna shit in people's yards.
Yeah.
Just it happens. So Pat's peeve is when the dog shits in grass that hasn't been cut in a long time
Okay.
because it's hard to get out. And then you smear shit all over the grass. And as you're trying to reach in there with the bag to get the shit out of the long grass, it happens to rip. And then you get dog shit on your hand. So that's super sick.
I could see that being annoying. I'm really happy I don't have that problem.
Yeah. And all the houses in this neighborhood have like ring cameras on them. Um, and the sidewalks are really close. So the driveways are kind of short. Like this is very much like a cookie cutter neighborhood, almost apartment complex style. So I know that these people saw me get dog shit on my hand on their ring camera and just get pissed off about it in their front yard. So yeah, super cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, less than hilarious if you ask me.
My Pat's peeve has to do with today. You ever been on the golf course and you've hit, you know, kind of okay all day, but then you have just a solid drive off the tee box, furthest drive in your group, dead center of the fairway, right where you want it to be, your next shot, just perfect,
Yeah.
you know, right on the green, you know, putting for, par four, putting for one under, and then you fucking four putt.
Story of my life right there,
Yeah,
except not story of my life because I can barely get it on the fairway as it is. But uh, yeah, any kind of putting game, not for this guy.
yeah,
But I could see how that's frustrating.
yeah, yeah, it was. It was.
But all right, next Pat's peeve. So self-checkout with a full cart of groceries. You know what I'm talking about? You got a full
Yep.
cart. I'm talking you went shopping. We're
Yeah,
shopping for 2 weeks.
yeah.
Full
No,
cart of
that's
groceries in the self-checkout line. You're an asshole, right?
yeah, that's dick
So normally I'm with you. I despise it. However, because my theory is self-checkout really is 20 things or less. I'll give you a buy if you got 20 things. I think that's a fair amount. Or even if they're like 30 things, but you can do them all really fast.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's kind of my stance on it.
Don't burden other people. Sure.
Yeah. So a lot of people at the commissary go through the self-checkout because you have to tip the baggers at the commissary.
Mm,
So like nobody wants to tip the baggers, so they just go through the self-checkout and it fucking backs up the line. It's a pain in the ass. Well, today, I'm shopping at the commissary by myself, and this commissary is a lot smaller than Fort Bennings. So it's different. Not as many people shop there. I don't know why, but it's just the case. Well, none of the main registers are open. None of them. And there's only like three self-checkout options. And I got a lot of groceries. So I'm like, fuck. Like I'm gonna be that guy, which there's no other option. I couldn't
yeah.
go to a main line, so it just is what it is. But I had a lot of groceries and a lot of produce. So like a lot of like onions, red peppers, and
Stuff you got to
bananas, and
look
like
up and weigh.
exactly. Right. And then there's this long fucking line for the self-checkout line. So I'm there and I'm feeling rushed the whole time because I'm taking a while because I spent $200 on groceries, so I had like a lot of shit. And yeah, basically my past peeve is like they didn't open up any main registers. I would have tipped. I had cash. Pieces of shit. Not everybody can be a professional Harris Teeter bag boy like Marissa's husband.
and and his cousin.
Yeah, and his cousin.
That's who you should get on here.
Yeah, I think I've told Tyler about it before. We gotta get him on here. He's been talking about it for a while, but um, you know, Marissa's husband has had a lot of weird jobs that he has a lot of weird skills for.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's been an Arby's sandwich maker.
That's how could you forget that one?
Oh yeah, Harris Teeter cart boy, certified forklift operator, which I think is his most prized job title. Um, truck driver, can't forget that.
Yep.
Fishmonger,
Fishmonger.
his newest is fishmonger, and then obviously house seller.
And then obviously connects you with real estate agents that sell you the wrong property.
Yeah, yeah, he's got some work to do in that area. Real piece of
Um,
trash. I think he did that
yeah.
shit on purpose.
If he did,
Uh,
wow.
nah, he didn't do it on
I mean,
purpose.
I know he didn't think that far ahead, but
He didn't do it on purpose. He's just that bad at his job.
yeah, but that would be impressive, honestly.
Yeah. All right. You got any more past peeves?
No, I think that's really it.
Okay. Well, I got a closing comment, and
Okay.
last night there was a little bit of a situation. Nothing crazy. I'm sitting on the couch watching a little basketball, having a couple beers, and get a knock on the door. So I thought it was weird. It's a little late at night. Somebody's knocking on my front door. So I go look, and there's these two young girls that are knocking on the door, and they're like, "Hey, our volleyball got accidentally hit into your backyard." Because they're like my backyard backs up to like the little main center area
Yeah,
of the
sure.
complex. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go grab it for you. And like I open the sliding glass door and I see uh, their what looks like I'm assuming their mother standing out by the backyard waiting for me to get the volleyball and throw it to her. And I forgot that I had closed the screen also. So I open the sliding glass door and just forehead straight through the screen. The screen pops off. It like shoots out the back of the door. I almost fall down. It was like,
And you just
uh,
look like a fucking idiot in front of this
she's
lady.
yeah, fucking idiot. There's people out there. They're making like they have a fire pit out there. I'm just like making this loud noise, just blasted through my screen.
That's good stuff.
Uh, yeah, but like, she's looking at me and she's like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's a screen there if you didn't know." And then I grabbed the volleyball and went back. So yeah, it was super embarrassing.
Yeah, I wish he had that on a Ring doorbell.
I know that would have been hilarious. Probably would have went viral on TikTok. So
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Claire's TikTok making fun of my office had like 400,000 views. So that's
really,
yeah, just people roasting me in the comments.
yeah, that checks out. So
Yeah.
if you're
Or I
listening,
mean,
go look at Claire's TikTok and see Bryce get roasted. So
just making fun of the cords, my desk, things like that.
true. Yeah, yeah. I mean, my office is probably worse. So
Yeah. Some
um,
dude just said, "Hell yeah, brother." So I know a
hey,
lot of men felt attacked.
they felt it. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
In place of the ever so busy T Caps.
Yeah. Well, we know he's not doing anything important. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. True, true, true. All right, dude. Well, yeah, it's been real. I appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you next time.
all right. Till next time.